Guam DOE hired G4S, Hawk, and Denancy to provide security in December, right before the Christmas break for their campuses, after a rash of copper wire thefts left classrooms without power and air conditioning.
So the emergency procurement gave us 30 days to immediately put in our foot patrol at our schools and to procure copper wire and get them reinstalled for schools as they reopened in January.
The emergency declaration that allowed for the procurement was signed on December 20th, which means it should be expired come Monday the 21st. There's no way to procure another contract in time, as there is no more funding for it. Instead, Fernandez says they've asked GPD to increase their patrols around the schools during nights and weekends, and they're working with the mayors and volunteer watch groups from the villages to help keep an eye on the schools.
But also, we've been working very closely with our mayors, with GPD, and our school administrators to ensure that and our community partners, to ensure that we have also a lot of volunteer visits and patrols at night and on the weekends to make sure that we can continue to deter further thefts and further intrusions.
Fernandez says that they had $2.8 million from the Department of the Interior that they used for the emergency procurement of security and copper wire, but most of that has already been used up. They are, however, taking a close look at their books to determine whether or not they can find some other source of funding, or whether they need some additional funding to procure some form of professional security again.
Forward, even though the foot patrol may not be the same going forward, we're still looking at those options, what that might look like, working with professional security services as part of our ongoing security. That's going to take budget. It's going to take some procurement. Procurement timeline to get that in place.
Fernandez says that they're also considering electronic security systems, much like what has been proposed by a recent bill introduced by Speaker Judy Wonpat. But they will have to work together with her to make sure that her plan fits in with some of the electronic security measures they have already planned on implementing once they receive some federal funding that is pending.
So I think there's a need for some electronic surveillance and tools. So those could range from security cameras to lights, to lights that trigger when there's motion. So motion detectors, alarms, as well as physical, whether it's security, whether it's custodians, whether it's some other type of presence on campus during those hours. That combination would work best.